Hey guys, welcome to DDM Chronicles. My name is Emmanuel. Today we are going to take you on a journey through time. Literally, of course. What if I told you you're not actually in 2024, but in 2017? Well, if you're in Ethiopia, that's exactly the case. Crazy, right? Ethiopia follows its own calendar, which is 7 years behind the Gregorian calendar that the rest of the world uses. That's not all though. There's a lot more to this fascinating story. Today, we'll break down the Ethiopian calendar and the incredible New Year celebration called Enkutatash, and why Ethiopia does things a little differently from the rest of the world. Ready? Let's go. So let's start with one of the most vibrant cultural celebrations in Ethiopia, Enkutatash, or the Ethiopian New Year. Enkutatash is celebrated on Meskerem 1, which falls on September 11 or 12 in the Gregorian calendar, depending on the year. Meskerem is the first month of the Ethiopian calendar, and its name is derived from the blooming of flowers that mark the end of the rainy season. So in many ways, Enkutatash is about celebrating renewal, hope, and the beauty of nature. Now, if you visit Ethiopia during this time, the first thing you will notice are the meskel dices, beautiful yellow flowers that blossom after the rains end. These flowers have a deep symbolic meaning representing purity and new beginnings, of course. The streets come alive with music, food, and people exchanging gifts. It's a real communal event where everyone, young and old, participates. Religion also plays a big part in the celebrations. Many people attend church services in the morning to mark the beginning of the new year, giving thanks for the blessings of the past year and praying for the year ahead. In fact, Ethiopia's calendar is closely tied to the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, which has been the cornerstone of the country's culture for centuries. All right. Now, let's get into what makes the Ethiopian calendar so unique. The Ethiopian calendar is based on the ancient Coptic and Julian calendars, which predate the Gregorian calendar that most of the world uses today. The big difference between the two is how each calendar calculates the birth of Jesus Christ. The Gregorian calendar, which was introduced by Pope Gregory XIII in 1582, places the birth of Jesus Christ between 1 BC and 1 AD. However, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church calculates the birth of Christ around 7 or 8 years later, which is why the Ethiopian calendar is currently 7 years behind the Gregorian calendar. For example, while it's 2024 in the rest of the world, Ethiopia just entered 2017 this September. So why is this so important? Well, this calculation difference reflects Ethiopia's distinct religious and cultural identity. Even though they exist in a globalized world, Ethiopians have retained their ancient traditions, showing how proud they are of their heritage. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. The Ethiopian calendar doesn't just define years, it also has 13 months. Yup, you heard that right, 13. The calendar is made up of 12 months, each with exactly 30 days plus an extra month called Pagume, which has 5 days or at least 6 days in a leap year. The 13th month Pagume is like a short bonus month that acts as a transition between the old and new years. Imagine having a mini month to wrap up everything before you hit the new year. Pretty cool, right? Pagume is also a special year because it marks the end of the year in Ethiopia, and it's a time when people take stock of their lives, reflect on the past year, and prepare for what's to come. Think of it like a spiritual reset. Here's another fascinating twist. Ethiopians tell time differently from the rest of the world. Instead of starting the day at midnight as we do with 24-hour clock system, in Ethiopia, the day starts at 6 a.m. and their clocks are split into 12-hour cycles. 2 12-hour cycles. One time begins at 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. For example, what we call 7 a.m., Ethiopians call it 1 a.m. So, how did Ethiopia manage to maintain these ancient traditions while most of the world moved on to the Gregorian calendar and the Western timekeeping methods? One word: independence. Ethiopia is one of the very few African countries that was never colonized, which means it was never forced to adopt the Western systems. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church also played a significant role in preserving its cultural heritage, ensuring that these ancient practices were passed down from generation to generation. From as early as the 4th century, Ethiopia has had a strong sense of national pride. Its people successfully resisted colonization and foreign influence, which allowed them to keep their distinct identity, of course. So this is why Ethiopia's history and culture remain so closely linked to its calendar system, religion, and overall way of life. Today, Enkutatash isn't just about the religious ceremonies or historical tradition. It's a full-blown national celebration. People gather in public spaces, musicians perform, and the whole country comes together to mark the start of the new year. In fact, popular Afrobeat singer Davido recently performed at the recent New Year celebration, showing just how lively and joyful the event can be. It's a unique fusion of the old and the new. Tradition meets modern culture. People are celebrating in the streets, exchanging flowers, and just enjoying life. It's a time of hope, renewal, and community spirit. So whether you're fascinated by history, culture, or just love the idea of living in 2017 while the rest of the world is in 2024, Ethiopia's unique calendar and incredible Enkutatash celebration are definitely worth exploring. It's amazing how much Ethiopia has preserved its ancient traditions in a modern world. If you ever get a chance, make sure to witness these celebrations firsthand. You won't regret it. That's all for today's edition of DDM Chronicles, of course. If you enjoy learning about the Ethiopian calendar and their New Year celebrations, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating content like this. And hey, turn on those notifications so you don't miss on any of our upcoming videos. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the comments. In the comments, would you want to experience Enkutatash in Ethiopia? Tell me in the comments. Until next time, my name is Emmanuel.